Good evening, guys. It's Scott from Woke Societies here. It's been a long, crazy week for me. I'm exhausted. I wasn't even going to make a video tonight, but there was just some things that have come out here as far as the news, things that are going to be affecting me and my family, unfortunately, in New York. But yeah, I just wanted to get back to you guys here. I know I've been doing some news stories in the past weeks. This last week, though, I got away from that a little bit. I did two interviews for the first time on Woke Societies, which was pretty awesome. On Tuesday, we interviewed Susan Pleva, and we got into her adoption story, the nightmare of crap that she grew up with, and her story of how her son was essentially sold for money at her own expense, and her story, her current story of how she's fighting to get her son back. So that was on Tuesday, uploaded on Wednesday. That is there for you guys to check out. On Thursday, we also interviewed Nathan Amthor, and we got into some spiritual things. We got into what the Akashic records are. We talked about some ETs, and we got into some spiritual things to get away from the negative bullshit that goes on in our country on a daily basis. At Woke Societies, I don't want to just stick to one. I don't want to be one-dimensional. I don't want to just do, like I said, political stuff. I do want to cover all aspects, especially the spiritual stuff, the ET stuff, and it's all connected. So I want to be multi-dimensional in a way, and essentially we are all multi-dimensional beings if you didn't know already. But yeah, so again, I'm here now. I'm exhausted. I had a long week, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys only because these things are super important, and you guys need to find. I wanted to bring some light to the darkness. Anyways, the first article I want to jump into tonight is New York repeals religious exemptions for school vaccinations. And when I first heard about this, I could not believe what I was reading. I didn't think it was real at first, but it is very real. And essentially what this is if your kids are not vaccinated, they cannot attend public schools in New York. And when I first heard this, I was like, wow, do we still live in America? Because last I knew, I thought this was the United States of America. And as you guys probably can assume, I don't vaccinate. I have a child who we have not vaccinated. And I'm not going to rip anybody that does vaccinate or vaccinate their kids. Every parent is trying to do what they think is best for their child, and that's where I like to leave it at. I'm not going to condemn parents for thinking they're doing the right thing for their kid. That's totally on them. I'm against it because I've done my research, and I know the crap that's in these things and the money that fuels these companies, and it's all very corrupt. It's just the truth. You can take it or leave it with that, but I wanted to get into this article. Our wonderful leader, Governor Asshole Cuomo, said in a statement after signing the bill, "The science is crystal clear. Vaccines are safe, effective, and the best way to keep our children safe. This administration has taken aggressive action to contain the measles outbreak, but given its scale, additional steps are needed to end this public health crisis." So right off the bat, guys, we're going to be instilling fear. There's still a crisis here. The measles outbreak is everywhere. Guys, I live about an hour upstate from this city, and the next closest county to us that had measles is Rockland, and this was in the news for about 3 or 4 months, and then it just died down. There's no outbreak. People aren't going nuts. People aren't going crazy, but the media was fueling it, and people started to get more vaccines. They started to get their flu shots, just making money for Big Pharma hand over fist. And it's got to be related somehow to money for these politicians. It always is. And the one part about this article that I thought was hilarious, the science is crystal clear, vaccines are safe. Now, a lot of people, they don't do their own research. They just follow what the media tells them. They call anti-vaxxers crazy, conspiracy theorists. You're not doctors. What do you know? You're going to get us all sick. The whole herd immunity mentality, all that crap. So I have this screenshotted on my phone, these statistics here. I just want to show you guys when Cuomo says vaccines are safe. Really, Mr. Cuomo? Let's go to Health Resources and Service Administration data and statistics. And what this is, guys, if you guys already don't know, when your child or yourself get vaccinated and you're injured by the shot, you have an allergic reaction to it, and God forbid your child dies, or a person you know dies from a vaccine, there is no way for you to go after the company that made this vaccination. Now, what kind of industry out there that you know of is if you use a certain business's product and it backfires, it hurts you, causes permanent physical health for the rest of your life, and you have no way to sue them, no way of getting some kind of financial restitution to alleviate some of the damage that's been done to you. Almost no business that I know of. You can sue, you can go after them, you can take them to court, but with vaccines, you cannot do that. So what do people have to go after? They have to go through this separate U.S. Court of Federal Claims, and they have to present their case. And unfortunately, a lot of these cases, they get dismissed because they don't have the proper proof that their injury was caused by the vaccine. But there are a lot that do, and I'm going to show you guys a quick number here. Now, these cases, these statistics break down every single vaccine that is given in the country, the number of claims, the number of doses for each separate disease here. Now, I'm going to scroll all the way down because this is where the most important number is. This is awards paid, and I want you guys to see this is since fiscal year 1989 right here, all the way down to fiscal year 2019, and the number of money that has been paid to petitioners that have filed cases and won is $3.8 billion. People. That is a huge number, and this is from 1989 again to currently 2019 in June. And that's related to vaccine injuries and vaccine death. Wow, Mr. Cuomo, vaccines are safe, they're effective, really? Then why isn't the media talking about this $3.8 billion that's been paid out to people that have been negatively affected by these things? I wonder why. So you can get these facts your own, people. Again, I always tell people, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go find the information out for yourself. It's out there. So I wanted to show you some proof of that, some actual hard numbers here. When I hear people say vaccines are safe, yeah, some people I know, they get vaccinated, they're fine. They end up, there's no physical damage that you can see with the human eye. But trust me, vaccines that have aluminum, toxic metals that go directly into your bloodstream, that's not good for you, people. It's just not. And you don't have to agree with me. It's okay. If you have your views on it, it's totally okay. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to show you some facts. People call anti-vaxxers crazy, conspiracy theorists. These numbers don't lie. So we're going to move on. But the other thing I wanted to talk about in relation to this is I was thinking, what kind of, there's got to be some kind of money involved. Why did Cuomo decide to push this bill in now? There's got to be some kind of money involved, some kind of financial, I guess you could say, benefit to why he's doing this right now. And lo and behold, this is what I found. This Merck, I don't know if it's Merck, however you pronounce it, subsidiary is expanding in Albany and hiring. And guys, if you don't know who Merck is, they are the sole creators of the MMR vaccine. Just get that straight. The sole creators of the MMR vaccine, the highest sold vaccine in the United States. About 50% of the vaccines that people buy come from this company. And what do you know? iLoom Health Solutions plans to create 115 jobs in the Albany area over the next 5 years, investing $48 million into Albany. You don't think some of the politicians are getting some of that money? Come on, guys. Let's wake up a little bit here. So, how did this happen? Why are these guys here? Why were they invited to New York? It says right here, the company is working on creating software to track drug-resistant bacteria with the goal of slowing the spread of disease. And when you have the media constantly fueling the public with these outbreaks that are just spreading everywhere. People are getting sick. This disease was supposed to be rid of 9, almost 10 years ago, and this company is going to save the day. And not only do they want to start with 115 jobs, it says further down the article that they do want to expand all across New York State. And what do you think is going to happen, people? They're going to roll out more vaccinations. You know what that means? It's going to be more money, and the politicians are definitely going to get paid some of that money. It's all connected. It's all bullshit, and this is what we're dealing with. And people don't realize that. This is the truth, people. This is why these things are going on. So I wanted to get into that, and just a little bit more about this Merck company. If you don't know who they are, Merck was actually sued by their own scientists. You're like, why would their own scientists be suing them in a court case? Well, let's take a look, people. Right up here. Former Merck scientists sue Merck alleging MMR vaccine efficacy fraud. Stephen A. Crowling and Joan Wolchowski, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, former Merck virologist, blew the whistle by filing a Quitam action lawsuit, U.S. vs. Merck & Company, in August 2010. The scientists alleged that the efficacy tests for the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine MMR were faked. The documents were unsealed in June 2012. This is a major federal case alleging fraud in vaccine testing, and it encapsulates how medical research can be manipulated to achieve desired results, and why it may be wise to question the integrity and the validity of the science-based medicine. The suit charges that Merck knew its measles, mumps, rubella vaccine was less effective than the purported 95% level, and alleges that senior management was aware and also oversaw testing that concealed the actual effectiveness. So guys, the guys that had all these, the overseers, the bigwigs, they knew their efficacy rate was bullshit, but guess what? They concealed it and still rolled it out anyways. According to the lawsuit, Merck began a sham testing program in the late 1990s to hide the declining efficacy of the vaccine. The objective of the fraudulent trials was to report efficacy of 90% or higher, regardless of the vaccine's true efficacy. So guys, all they had to show to the CDC, they had to prove that their vaccine could hit this 95% rate. Didn't matter how they did it. As long as it showed that number, we're going to get it out to the market. We're going to start pumping these people full of these chemicals, and we're going to move on with their lives and make a lot of money. This is what was going on. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. According to the suit, the objective of the fraudulent trials was to report efficacy of 90% or higher, regardless of the vaccine's true efficacy. We just read that before. This goes into how they hid this and what they did to dilute these vaccines to look more effective than they really were. For the new testing method, the children's blood was tested for its ability to neutralize the virus using the vaccine strain virus instead of the wild type strain that is much more ineffective and the one that your children would most likely catch. But still, it was not 95% effective. In order to make the blood pass the test, antibodies from rabbits. The addition of rabbit antibody increased the efficacy to 100%, but that was not the end, because they had to test pre-vaccine blood and post-vaccine blood. So, a little bit more here. Just the addition of rabbit antibody made the pre-vaccine blood go from 10% positive to 80% positive. And that was such an obvious sign of foul play that yet another manipulation had to be made. So guys, the technique that they were using by using these rabbit antibodies was so drastic, the overseers knew they were not going to be able to get this through. So what do? They bullshit and lie more. The desired end result is to have a very low pre-vaccine antibody and 95% or more post-vaccine efficacy as measured by antibody neutralization. So, yet one more change in the procedure was made. The pre-vaccine tests were all redone by fabricating the plaque counts on the pre-vaccine blood samples, counting plaques that were not there. What this allowed was a mathematical dilution of the pre-vaccine blood counts. So guys, they just kept diluting it, making it actually a weaker strain. And as long as they hit that 95%, guess what? We're rolling it out. It's time to make some money, Big Pharma. And last thing I'm going to read from this article here. Susan Humphreys, A nephrologist who practiced medicine in the conventional system for 19 years witnessed firsthand how that approach fails patients and creates a new disease time and again. Summary explains in layman's terms how the tests were manipulated. Dr. Humphreys is on the board of directors of the International Medical Council on Vaccination. So, just a little bit more, guys, and we're going to move on here. In the complaint, the scientists outline in great detail exactly how Merck manipulated the efficacy rates in order to be able to say they had a 95% effective vaccine so that they could meet the fairy tale goal of vaccine-induced herd immunity by 2010. Guys, if you know anything about this word herd immunity, it's bullshit. It's what pro-vaccine got people use all the time. Again, I'm not going to try to come down too hard on people that believe in vaccines, but you got to do your research. You really have to dig deep and look into this stuff. A woman here who is on the Medical Council on Vaccination calls pretty much herd immunity a fairy tale. Well, it turns out that the vaccine cannot meet the goal that the CDC projected to eradicate mumps by 2010 because the vaccine in its current state cannot reliably confer immunity, and in fact, a dilute version of what it once was when Maureen Hellman invented it using the virus of his 5-year-old daughter. The same viral mumps strain has been in use in every mumps or MMR vaccine Merck has made since 1967. So just some backstory on that. That strain, the one they were just talking about from 1967, has been almost essentially the same one that they've used up until today. They added aluminum and mercury, toxic metals, into this vaccine at some point. I don't know if it was the 80s, the 90s, whenever it was, when they started testing it. It did prove to be more effective at the cost of putting more toxic metals into the vaccine itself. So, the mumps outbreaks have already been proven not to be the result of failure to vaccinate, but vaccination failure, and now it looks all to be a result of Merck's cooked books used in order to maintain a commercial monopoly to generate increased revenue from increasing number of boosters. Guys, this is all about money. That's all it's ever been. These politicians are allowing these companies to come into, like I say, New York State. They're all in cahoots with each other. They're all going to make a ton of money while they're injecting the public, the masses, with these toxins. It's all related to each other, and it makes me super sick to think about. Obviously, parents who cannot have to work both jobs, each have to work, and their child, what are they going to do? They're going to be forced to move out of state if they can't find somebody to watch their child. If they don't want to, take that back. If both parents are working and they don't want their child vaccinated and they have to go to school, they have to vaccinate their kid now. That is making you make a decision you do not want to do. And I call that bullshit. And unfortunately, it's going to affect a lot of people. There was articles going around that New York State has the highest exodus rate out of any state in the country. And you think this is going to help? I know a ton of people are already saying they're going to have to move because they can't homeschool their child. So, good job, New York. Just keep piling on to the reasons of why living here is so shitty. So, moving on, guys. Let's see what we got here. So moving on from the vaccine talk here, we're going to get right into this Pinterest story. And this came out about 3 days ago. And everyone, if you don't know what Pinterest is, just Google it. It's another big super social media platform. And what they found, this whistleblower here, which I'm going to show the video, he pretty much describes what Pinterest is doing to block content. So yeah, here we go. And essentially, if Pinterest does not agree with your views, we're going to put you on a block porn domain list. I'm not making this up, guys. This Live Action, the name of this website and this movement called Live Action is pro-life, and they were put on a block list, on a porno list. So anything that was related to them on Pinterest would automatically be blocked, and they had no idea this was going on. Obviously, when Project Veritas, it sounds like a Mexican food. they found out and they let them know, and they were obviously very upset. But I'm going to play this 2-minute interview here of the whistleblower from Pinterest and see what you guys think.
What are we looking at here? It seems to be a bunch of XXX and porn websites, and then there appears to be the live action website. What are we looking at here?
You're looking at pins with domains that are blocked. Any domain on the porn block list, you can't make a pin like that. And I happened to discover this because of a Slack thread talking about pro-life content, and somebody happened to notice that liveaction.org was blocked. And so I was pretty surprised, and I went to our porn domain block list, and then sure enough I found Live Action on there.
Live Action is a group founded by Lila Rose that tries to educate people about the pro-life movement.
Liveaction.org was added to a porn block list. That means that if you try to make a pin that links to liveaction.org, you won't be allowed to. The pin won't be created. Megan works on the trust and safety team and on government operations, and she was the one who added liveaction.org to the porn domain block list.
After reaching out to Pinterest for comment, we noticed Pinterest changed course. Live Action is no longer blacklisted. Sometimes it takes a little sunlight for people to do the right thing. Now, one of the documents you uncovered and sent to Project Veritas was thousands of pages long.
It contains offensive terms, porn terms, anything that we don't want to show up on search. There are a lot of terms about Christians, Bible verses.
So we have Pinterest open right now. I'm going to type in the word Muslim, and what we see happen on the screen is it separates it into 2 words: Muslim fashion, Muslim quotes. This is called autocomplete. I'll do it again for the word Jewish. I'll type in the search Jewish art, Jewish wedding, Jewish recipe. But then I type in the word Christian, and something interesting happens.
Christians being blocked from autocomplete.
Some of the other words that are on this severity level is shit sandwich, cocaine, one night stand, Paris attack, and quote, wetback, unquote.
And those are now being compared to Christian quotes.
Wow.
So there you have it, guys. This is a 2-minute interview here. The actual video on these guys' Project Veritas is about 20 minutes long. It gives you a lot more in-depth interview of what other things that are going on there. But essentially, that is the summary of what the video is. So, yeah, Christian search terms, Bible verses, they're all being blacklisted. They're being blocked. Because things that could be related to those terms could be hate speech, they could be whatever these guys decide they want it to be. They choose for us. And does that sound like free speech? It's not, people. It's definitely not. So this guy was actually fired, and yeah, this is what's going on. And guys, I've said it in my other videos that I've made so far. We are in an information war. Silicon Valley is trying to control the narrative of what is being put out there, and their big story, their big cornerstone argument for all this is we want to contain hate speech. So they decide what hate speech is for the rest of us, and it's helping, I guess, in a way to get the actual people that are saying disgusting racist things. And that's all fine and dandy, but they are just swinging a hammer at everybody, and that is affecting people that have anything to do with quote-unquote conspiracy theorists, any people that like to dig and to tell the truth of what's actually going on in the world, and they just get to decide, man, this is misinformation. This could be bad for the public to hear. It could cause a lot of bad things. So guess what? We're gonna strike your channel. We're not even going to tell you you're being shadow banned. You're just going to be losing followers left and right. And guys, this isn't made up stuff. It's happened to me. I just started doing this a couple months ago. Thankfully, my channel has been growing. I have 33 followers now in just a few weeks, which is awesome. And the channels that I follow, the big ones, they're taking hits left and right, losing thousands of subscribers daily. Their channels are being taken down without telling them. No chance to appeal. and this is happening every day. And guys, this is not a coincidence of the timing of all this, because we do know what's coming up, the 2020 election, and they are going to control everything that they can. So just keep all this in mind. I want to get into one more thing here, because speaking of big social media, YouTube, censorship, all this stuff, my guy here, Frank, I listen to him as much as I can. If you guys, please check him out. His name of his podcast is, quite frankly, he's on every platform you can think of. He is awesome, and I just came across him about a few weeks ago, and now I watch his show almost every night. He's very inspiring, and seems like a good guy. Maybe I'll meet him one day, who knows. But he's going to be talking about this interview with the YouTube CEO about hate speech and the algorithm changes and what they've done essentially to YouTube to block hate speech. And I'm just going to play it for you and see what you think.
Genuflect, sign of the cross, all that stuff. And I want to show this to you because, yeah, it's edited in a little bit more of a funny way, but it's very, very telling. And you got to listen to this, and you're going to know a lot more about what people like myself, not just me. There's a lot of people going through this, although people are growing. I have not been able to. But take a listen to this. For those of you at home that are listening on demand with on podcast, I'm going to read some of the stuff that's on the screen for you, okay? So it says, after hundreds of creators were demonetized, after many channels were completely deleted by YouTube, Susan Wojcicki was asked tough questions at Recode, not very tough, after targeting almost exclusively dissident content, branding it as hate to justify its removal. YouTube folded to almost every demand by Carlos Maza, an activist pressure group wanted, especially with just so perfectly timed on Pride Month. This is whom she decided to address, and listen to this very, very tough line of questioning she was asked.
Please welcome Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube. Give you a good hip-hop theme for your way in.
Thank you.
There was a policy change. I think they all sort of happened at the same time. Can we just walk through if they were connected?
Sure. So first of all, thank you. It's a lot of things happened last week, and it's great to be here and talk about what happened. But I do want to start because I know that the decision that we made was very hurtful to the LGBTQ community, and that was not our intention at all. And
should we just set context for anyone who's not following this, what decision this was?
yeah, so I'll go into that, but I thought it was really important to be upfront about that and to say that was not our intention, and we were really sorry about that. And but I do want to explain why we made the decision that we.
They were sorry. No, she's either she's playing stupid or she's trying to, smooth things over to let everybody know that this has affected everybody, and we're going to make sure that only our friends are able to be whitelisted from this kind of movement. But she's obviously not sorry, as it says on the. It's very aptly pointed out on the screen. She's not sorry that they demonetized and removed hundreds and hundreds of political opposition. Nothing. Not sorry about that at all. Let's continue. Only about a minute left.
Did two different things that happened at the same time, and we made a really significant change involving hate speech. This is something we had been working on for months. We have made about 30 changes in the last 12 months. This past week, we made a change in how we handle hate speech. And that took months and months of work, and hundreds of people we had working on that.
Months and months of work, hundreds of people have working on that, and bam, just when you thought she wasn't going to get a trigger to go and roll it out comes Carlos Maza, or whatever his name is, Alex or Carlos or whatever. He comes out, it's right at the beginning of Pride Month, and boom, let's roll out what we have been working on for months and months. And it was still a clumsy rollout because, of course, it's almost as if they're in a glass shop or something like that, a crystal store, an antique shop they're running over here. And of course, that is American society and free speech. and the way that we're able to actually work things through and talk and debate and all that. And they see a mouse running along the baseboards of the room. And what do they start doing? They start swinging baseball bats, and they ruin the entire antique store. They ruin all the crystal, all the Franklin Mint. They keep swinging wildly, and they ruin everything trying to find the mouse. And then they say, sorry, we tried to cure, yeah, sorry. We dropped an atomic bomb on everybody. So let's keep going.
Hate speech. And that was a very significant launch and a really important one. Make it so that if there's a video that alleges that some race or religion or gender or group, protected group, is superior in some way and uses that to justify discrimination or exclusion, that would now no longer be allowed on our platform.
So there you go. Now listen to this next part, because this pretty much explains everything.
Hate speech. We had actually had limited features, meaning that it wasn't in the recommendations, it wasn't monetized, it had an interstitial in front of it to say that hate speech was content that we found offensive. And when we did that, we actually reduced the views to it by 80%.
And there you go. There you go. No recommendations, no monetization. They were screwing with search results. They have been working on this for months. It's been happening even before a big rollout. They didn't need it. You know, everything's a coming out party. Everything is. Space Force is soft disclosure that we already had a Space Force. And of course, this has been going on. And what is their crowning achievement? They were actually able to destroy, take down traffic to whoever they didn't like by up to 80%.
Now, you hear that, people? They were taking down any political opposition to that they don't agree with, which would be the conservatives, the right side of the aisle. And they're demonetizing them, which means the money that they were making on their channel is no longer, that's not happening. And I know a lot of these guys that I follow, they depend on that money for their families, and YouTube's just shutting them down completely. No questions asked is gone. And yeah, it's very scary times. And again, they change their algorithms so they don't pop up in the search fields. The related stuff on the right side here, that gets put all the way on the bottom, if at all it's on the side there. And like it says right here, 80% less traffic is what they cut down to these channels. And guys, they're using this term hate speech as a broad brush to just wipe out everybody that they don't agree with. And guys, it's a direct attack on free speech. That's what it is. And the funny thing is, all these YouTube and all these things were, I believe, originally created to help people get the word out about what, you know, the truth and the people's lives and the things that they're doing. And now it's being completely turned around. These guys were not expecting Trump to win, to be honest, and that's where all this lies. Hillary was their only plan. When Trump won, they didn't have a plan. So again, they come out with these, like he was saying, these clumsy rollouts, and there's no announcement. You know, you just find out you're shadow banned and your channel's gone. Oh, okay, well, I guess I did something wrong. No explanation, no nothing. So I wanted to get this out there, guys. These are the things that really bothered me in the last couple of days. I don't like to be a negative Nancy, but again, you know, the truth hurts and the truth can be upsetting, and this is the reality of the situation. So if you guys like the content, you want to support this channel, independent media, you enjoy the truth, you enjoy what I do, please like and subscribe this video, my channel. Let's make it grow together. And this fight is not going to end anytime soon. I want to be a part of this, and if you want to be a part of it too, I ask you to just subscribe for right now. And who knows where this channel will go. And I want to grow with you guys, and I just genuinely want to help people and just, you know, give them the facts, and they can decide what to do from there. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Tonight's Friday. I'm going to probably take the weekend off. And I'll be getting more videos out there, but I hope you guys enjoy the content. And remember, stay woke.